What's going on out there, everybody? This is Around the Blocks with Mike Knoxxx, and I'm very humbled today. And this is a different, Around the Blocks with Mike Knoxxx. This is pretty much just a public thank you. Most people don't do these kind of things. I'm not afraid of these kind of things. I'm not too big to do these kind of things. And it's to say thank you. 9 years ago, I lost my mother, and upon losing my mom, I was going crazy. I was driving my wife crazy, my kids crazy. And I was probably on the verge, real honest, real talk here, of being divorced from my wife because I was just an angry husband. All I knew was the Theo Huxtable way of go to work and everything would be fine. Cereal and bologna. And that's all I knew. My wife being the supporter, the helpmate that she is to me, being my rib, she said to me very respectfully, very, loving, I need you to go out there and find something that you love to do, whatever it is. At the time I'm working at PPG Auto Glass, and I'm at PPG Auto Glass, and I'm going through the motions. I'm going to work every day, every morning, but I'm coming home and I'm angry, and because I work with morons and idiots, and I'm coming home and I'm yelling at my wife. I'm yelling at my kids. I'm just diving into the video game 100% of the time. At that point, I was still smoking weed every single day, knowing that at any given time I can run the jeopardy of losing my employment because they did hair strands at that point. And I stayed there through all of that. And so I started what was called the best damn show in radio. Many of you guys will know it as the B.D.S.I.R radio networks. If you never knew what it stood for, that's what it stands for. It was a play on words by, the company MBNA, for those who are in Delaware, the first state that knows Delaware. It really didn't have a meaning. That's just what it was. So I had a couple of church folks at the time that were offended by the name damn in the title Best Damn Show in Radio. At this point, I was still cool with a person I used to be cool with who came up with the idea of changing it from the Best Damn Show in Radio to B.D.S.I.R Network. And honestly, guys, when I started off doing this is way before YouTube as big as it is now, before these guys got on at YouTube, before podcasts became what they are today. There's so many podcasts out there. You have numerous things to look at, numerous places to go find a podcast, but thank you for staying with me for over 9 years. And when it started off, I will never forget it. It started off WrestleMania Sunday. And I was in my basement at my house, not my mother's house. My house had a basement, and I was in the basement, and I did wrestling. And at the time, I had, and thanks to my cousin, Lee Awkward, who provided me the money at the time. I didn't have the money at the time to get a laptop. And he, gave me money for a laptop. And at the time when I first started, I started off on Justin.tv. There was no where you guys can find me now on Blog Talk Radio, which I will thank them as well and tell you why I don't leave Blog Talk Radio. But I was on Justin.tv. To me, Justin.tv was before its time. It was the YouTube before YouTube got bigger. It was Cody before Cody. And I would go there and I would have shows there and I would talk wrestling. And at the time, I had 2 listeners all the time. I tell people all the time, it's so hard in this podcast game to stay humbled and to stay consistent. And I had Herbie Musan. Shout out to Herbie in Houston. I finally, after 10 years knowing him, will meet him at WrestleMania this coming year in New Orleans. And I had my brother-in-law, Scott Mahias, that would always check in and listen to the program. That's all we had. And I would talk wrestling. But my love and why I got into this, when my wife said, find something that you love, was I would listen to WIP all day long. I was a driver. I drove, and I would listen to WIP, and I would hear Angelo Catale, who at the time I absolutely hated Angelo Catale. I love him today. I know now how great he is. But back then I hated Angelo, and I would get so mad at these guys are making 6 figures, the Stephen A. Smiths, the Jim Romes of the world, to just give their opinion. They're making 6 figures. And so I thought that was something that I could do. All my life, and I don't know how. I know that I'm a leader. I know what I am. I know that I can be very arrogant and very cocky. I come off that way to people, and sometimes it rubs a lot of people the wrong way. But shout out to Phil Bailey. Shout out to Jason Boyer. Shout out to Greg Black. Shout out to real friends of mine that saw past the emotion of that, saw past my bravado, a South Side kid from Chicago who moved to Delaware, who just honestly didn't have no respect for anybody. I come from the South Side of Chicago, Inglewood. I mean, my wife came there and she called it tumbleweeds. You know, she said she felt like she was in a bad episode of The Wire. And I lived that life. So for me to move from that to come to where I was, I just didn't have respect. And so the arrogance of me took over. Shout out to my man, my D, because where the name Mike Knoxxx comes from. I want to be a professional wrestler. I mean, no secret there, right? And I never forget, I went to wrestling school and I came home immediately after the first day. Functified Wrestling Federation. Yes, I wrestled in Functified Wrestling Federation. Sandman, may he rest in peace. Canyon. Who's better than Canyon? Nobody. Rob Van Dam. Sandman. I was in a ring with these guys, and I never forget the first time I came home from wrestling school, I said, babe, I'm not doing this. Y'all are crazy. I just want to be a manager anyway. I didn't really want to be a wrestler. Just wanted to be a manager. I feel like I have the gift to gab. Those who are around me and listen to the podcast, you know, I have the gift to gab. So I wanted to be a manager. And none of that worked out. So that's what led me to this. And then my man, my D, I was going by Mike Knoxxx, and it was just one X, as you see on the Mike Knoxxx gear there. And he said, nah, you got to do something better than that. Let's go ahead and fill it with 3 X's. I said, why so like a porn star? Like you hardcore. That's got to be your gimmick. Hence where Mike Knoxxx comes from. My man, my D. Delaware's a small place. That's my people. He's real cool. My man, my brother, Mr. Miller, Dre Miller, and just Delaware's a small place. Shout out to Delaware, the first state that loved me through a lot of stuff. I did a lot of things in that state. But again, I made this around the blocks to say thank you. And I've named some of those people. Again, bigger thanks goes to my wife, my brother-in-law, Scott Mahias, Herbie Masson, Mike Grandbody P from the UK, who has stuck with me through ups and downs and me asking for finances to help as I moved to Blog Talk Radio. And every Saturday, guys, every single Saturday. This is what I tell the younger podcasts and interns out there trying to do what they see people do and think it's easy. And I've had so many people on the network come to the network. I groomed them. They try to go off and spawn their own thing, and they go off and do their own thing. And I've watched them, guys. They never last. It takes hard work and dedication. That's just not something that I admire about Floyd Mayweather. It's real. Every single Saturday for 4 years at 6:30, I was on air. Whether I had one person listening, 5 people listening, and it just blew up. Shout out to Miss Randy Miller, Olympic bronze medal winner, who actually blew me up finally on Blog Talk Radio. I had interviewed Maya, didn't do that many good with the numbers. I interviewed Miss Soleil, didn't do. Shorty Mac, Ray J's friend, didn't do nothing. But I interviewed Randy Miller during the Olympics, and I looked at the numbers, and it was 48,000 people tuned in. And from there, I blew up. And it got so big that wrestling, and at that time, it was just wrestling and entertainment, wrestling, sports, and entertainment. It blew up so big from having, D1 on the program. I mean, the list goes on and on and on from guys that I've had the pleasure and the honor of interviewing. Animal. I mean, I made some real good friends in this business, from Kenny Anderson, a brother of mine, to Tracy Murray, a brother of mine, Tully Blanchard, Four Horsemen. These are guys, Uncle Rikishi. These are guys who helped me get over in the business by I've interviewed the Scott Halls of the world, but none of that means nothing. It really doesn't, because I had you guys tuning in, and I've gone through phases where I don't even interview people anymore, because to me, are you tuning in for the interview? Are you tuning in to hear the content? And I get interviews. I have interviews coming up now. We're going to WrestleMania. You guys know me. I seek interviews at that time, because that's what the man of my audience, wants to hear. But I drew back a lot from that, because I felt that you wasn't checking out me. You were checking out the interview. And I love you guys for that. And again, and then as things changed and they blew bigger than I ever thought, all I ever wanted to do was the best damn show on radio. But I got so big with the numbers and people coming in, it became a network. First show I had on the network was the New Twist Show. Shout out to Justin Watson and Giovanna West. Thank you guys. And Justin is still part of my crew and still does his own thing on the side when we do together on the Soul and Sports. Shout out to Beautiful Butterfly, who was, I had her on the program at first for a while. Shout out to Javid, who grew better, getting better fitness to, good Lord, I need to take your advice, because this man now has his merchandise in Walmart, things like that. I've had networks and shows. I built wrestling groups, okay, that I'm no longer a part of. I built those groups, and I'm not saying that to be boastful or to be arrogant. I give people my advice. I'm real no matter what. If you know me, I'm not a liar. I speak the truth, and it's just real, and it's blunt, and it's uncut, and it's just what it is. And I truly believe that's why you guys stay. And then from there, I had the Wolfpack, Delaware. Shout out to Delaware Wolfpack. I'll never forget those guys who stood with me every single Saturday, who was there every single Saturday to make sure and help me out when I had no one to be on the show. Okay, Jason Williams and Jason and Justin, and even Derek Lewis, for that matter. All those guys, they were there with me every single Saturday night while Herbie Musan in Houston would stay. I joked so much with Herbie in the beginning. He stayed on. I told him I would give him 1% of what I ever made out there. Okay, and shout out to my man Sandman checking in, who a good brother right there. We argue so much about wrestling, but we are grown ass men that we respect each other enough that we don't get into a fight on social media. And I've done that with so many people where my opinions are what they are, that it turns people off. 9 years, people. I mean, you understand what that means to me. And I thank you so much. 9 years I've done podcasting radio. After 6 years, I landed on Fox Sports Radio. And you guys that see me at the games, and you will see me doing this, and none of it means nothing, because I'm still in that hustle. I'm still in that hustle. Okay. In this radio, I admire 4 people in radio more than you guys will ever know. Okay, it's people you do know. Stephen A. Smith, I love that man. No matter what you guys want to call my Uncle Tom, whatever, I love that man for what he's done for Black Americans. Stuart Scott, who's not in radio, but I admire. Who may he rest in peace. To Jim Rome, who his arrogance and his cockiness is where I believe I get a lot of my brashness from. Okay, and Delaware. Listen. Frank Nitty, OG Nitty, whatever he goes by, that boy got more names than Puff Daddy. He had me on this show, and I felt like that. Remember that line between 50 Cent and Eminem? He said, M told me to switch my style up and watch the money pile up. Like, I was on his program, and I heard him listening to what he was saying and how he was engaging with his audience. And I swear I took it and I ran with it. And to this day, I don't care where I ever go, he will always be on my Mount Rushmore for radio personalities. And 9 years, like, I'm an emotional person, guys. Like, just thinking about what these people have meant to me and done for me, it brings me to, it almost gets me choked up a little bit. You know, shout out to Chad Rivera and Christopher Earley and those guys, the original Perfect Plex Heart Radios, Christopher Spotface McLean. Like, these are guys that roll with me and roll with me and roll with me, no matter how much I could have been a butthead. And I thank you guys. 9 years, 1,879 episodes recorded. I'm quite sure we're at like about 900, but there's episodes we deleted and we had to get rid of and things like that. And I stay on Blog Talk Radio, and everybody says, why you stay on Blog Talk? Why haven't you gone to SoundCloud? Why haven't you done this? Why have you done that? And I always say the same thing. I remember when I first got started on Blog Talk Radio, they gave me a network package. I was bringing the numbers so high, everybody out there was paying $1,000. $1,000. I was paying $40 to have a network. I was bringing in something. So the numbers were so high. They were so high. $40 was giving me a network worth of things. And I stayed there because I never forget. I looked up one day, Oprah Winfrey, President Barack Obama had a show on Blog Talk. So who is Michael Pearman at birth? Mike Knoxxx, who you know as, to lead Blog Talk Radio. They good to me. My numbers stay good to me. Mike Grant, he didn't came here and went on to do radio in the UK. He still stays here and re-airs his show on Wednesday nights, the hip hop show. He still does his wrestling show on this network. Jay Chris, Justin Watson, the new Twitch show still stays. Shout out to Ryan Hunter, who interviewed me for Bloxxx Week magazine. I still rock that shirt to this day. It's just so many people. I can't even thank you all. I really can't. So the ones that if I haven't named you, I'm sorry. Trust me, you're in my brain. I tagged most of you guys in this that I can remember off the rip because it's just been so much. Thanks to Phil Bailey and just real friends of mine that let me be me. My best friend, out there. Jason, y'all don't know. Y'all just don't know, man. 9 years. He's done listen, I would piss him off so much that every year I wanted to have music like the Cosby Show, where every single season I had a different theme song. And he would be like, man, I'm not doing this. I'm like doing the theme song. I went to Fox Sports. He said, I'm going to get you one now because you're on Fox Sports. He does my theme song. Shout out to Fred Knoxxx, who did 2, not 1, but 2 of my Perfect Plex theme songs. Thank you. Even the haters, even especially you mother suckers. Thank you. Because y'all came, I showed y'all the style to run with. Y'all went on your own and you're failing. You know why you're failing? Because you're hating. You can't succeed if you're hating. People say, well, Mike Knoxxx, you're your fan's favorite fan and your hater's favorite hater. Even people who piss me off in this business that have better numbers than me in this business, the Sam Roberts of the world, your Peter Rosenbergs, who I'm cool with on social media. Okay. We had a t-shirt challenge. I respect them. I just think I'm better than what they do. It's my job. I would be wrong. I wouldn't be from the South Side of Chicago. I'm growing in the Michael Jordan era. If I didn't think I was better than the next man, then I'm not a real man, because real men want to be better than a real man. They don't want to join the next man. Sorry, LeBron and KD. That's what y'all did. Okay? I don't want to join the best team. I want to be the best team. I want to build the best team. But I know how to be a soldier as well. So again, guys, I wasn't here to do nothing but say thank you, guys, on this International Women's Day. It just happened to fall on my 9-year anniversary. So I thank my mother, because her dying probably motivated me more than anything. My wife, who gave me an opportunity to save my marriage. B.D.S.I.R network saved my marriage. It did. I went to school for this. It saved my marriage, because I didn't come home an angry husband no more. Again, y'all have no idea how hard it is to have 1,879 episodes in your belt. And they're all not mine. I had 9 shows at one time. Shout out to Corey G. Okay, impacting your Thursday night. Him and Paris still doing their thing for the longest time. Thank you, Corey. I forgot to tag him in this. Can somebody please tag Corey in this? Please? Thank you. Thank you. Never met that brother. Just he liked what I had to offer. Thank you. My man Dice. Never forget how I met that brother playing this video game. He's in the party saying, yo, where do I know this voice from? I said, I don't know. I got a podcast. He said, get the out of here. You Mike Knoxxx? I said, yeah. He said, yo. And now he's doing a podcast with me on Perfect Plex on Sundays. I'm a good dude. And I thank you guys. I thank God most importantly. Shout out to Dr. Morton. I ain't going to forget that. Shout out to Dr. Morton. Shout out to everybody who's been riding with me all this time. I really can't say thank you enough. I really can't. It's humbling. It's emotional. 9 years, 1,879 episodes, and we finna get to 2,000. We will be at 2,000 episodes, and some of you guys can't even last longer than 7 episodes. Some of you guys can't even go consistent for 4 weeks straight without having a break in action. For 4 years, every single Saturday, not Friday, not Monday, not Tuesday, not Sunday, Saturday night. You know how hard it is to do a radio show on Saturday night at 6:30? You know the shit I heard from my wife because I had to be in the studio, or I had to pre-record something and run a old show back and go do it. Thank you. Thank you. There it is right there, my man. Massive respect to the king. Excuse me. You remember those interviews with Tully Blanchard, Rikishi Maya, Ahmed Johnson. I put Ahmed Johnson on first. It was before there was a Stone Cold podcast. There was Ahmed Johnson's Behind the Curtain. I had that idea. I just backed the wrong horse. Listen, guys, thank you. I'm humbled. I'm blessed. Beyond, I'm gonna stop it now because I'm just gonna keep going. I've already been going for 20 minutes to say thank you. Thank you. My wife, I love you. My children, thank you. I make them shut up. Stop, Daddy, got to do a show. On the way to vacation, I pulled the car over to do an interview with the American Alpha himself, to pull over the bus, not Jason Jordan, Chad, to pull over my car to do an interview on vacation. How many of y'all gonna do that for this business? That's what I do for this business because I love what I do. And I love you guys. Listen, Mike Knoxxx, Around the Blocks of Mike Knoxxx, and ever saying thank you. I'm very humbled. And I appreciate you guys for listening to me for 9 years. And as long as God will have me, I'll be here for 19 more. But hopefully we keep climbing. We keep climbing. Let's get Fox Sports some money so I can start making some real money in this damn thing. Y'all think it's all cool? I go to these parties and go to these games. It's nothing if I don't have the money coming in. I don't have nothing. Again, real big thanks to Tracy Murphy for telling me they didn't hire Michael Pearman. They hired Mike Knoxxx. F that. They didn't hire Michael Pearman. Change your name back to Mike Knoxxx. When I went through that change thing and made it Michael Pearman Sr. Nah, that ain't who they hired. They hired Mike Knoxxx. Give him Mike Knoxxx. So y'all got Mike Knoxxx. And Mike Knoxxx ain't going nowhere. Thank you. Peace.